So the key question the employer is looking for is what is your value? How are you valuable to me? So that's why it's so important that I look at who the employer is, what are all the specific things they want from an applicant. So that's how I focus my strengths, my skills, my education, again, including GetSetUp classes, all your computer skills, whatever customer service, team experience, your life experiences, and hobbies, your interests, travel, music, all those things may apply to a position, and it also may apply to, especially if you're trying to decide what kind of position, what about your life experiences may guide you to what your direction you want to go. So the question is, what type of position do you really want to do? Your past has some effect on what you want to do, but if you want to go in another direction, that's really important as you're researching employers and looking at their current positions. What is it that really speaks to you? So you have transferable skills from everything you've done in your life. And that again includes volunteering, your education, hobbies, and projects you've done, whether it's for an employer or just maybe even in a volunteer position. How much experience you have related to leadership, whether that's actually supervising, managing, leading teams, being a mentor, any customer service. And most employers now look at customer service, whether it's dealing with actually customers or internally within an organization. If you've worked or volunteered in your children's classes or your grandchildren's classes, any kind of tutoring, classroom experience, your computer experience, absolutely they're going to be looking at that. And maybe if you've done any kind of volunteer work, like helping out in your community. So one of the things to think about, which is real important, I'm going to show you 4 resume examples, and I will send you those examples in the follow-up email because they're very different types of occupations. And the key is that you have a summary at the top of the resume, which is a part of your qualities and characters. So as most people have trouble describing themselves, but if you think of how your closest friend would describe you, that's what we're going to talk about. So the key to the job description is actually the key to targeting your resume. So I'm going to give you a sample of a volunteer job description and then talk about how I matched up the starting of my resume for that. So it's also going through that job description. The employer is using the most important skills and qualifications at the very top. That's what we start with in order to decide what goes in the resume first. It is their keywords. You can use their words. It's not plagiarism to use the words in an employer's job description. You're not turning in a paper. And the key also is that the words you're using, a lot of large employers use a computer system to say they want 6 keywords in a resume to actually for the resume to come out of their database. So that's why it's critical that you incorporate the employer's keywords in that. So let me go to, hold on here. So this is one of the things I'm also going to send to you is what are some of what are the top skills employers are looking for? So I'm just going to scroll through this so you can see some of those keywords that they're looking for, which are sort of the most common things that we would all consider. And then you'll get this with the follow-up email. Let me go to the next one here. There we go. A lot of stuff to show you today. Okay, so this is a job description for a volunteer position, just as a way to start. So what the title of this is, Phone Friend to a Senior. So this is the organization. So if you've never heard of the organization, definitely do a Google search before you decide to make the resume to match this. You want to make sure you know who they are. Anything you can find about them, definitely go to their website, but also Google them to find out what you need to know to decide if this is an organization you want to spend time creating a resume for and possibly interviewing with. So this is an organization that provides services to older adults. And what they're looking for is a volunteer as a phone or video friend. So they're trying to help people who are isolated, especially during COVID. This was a very important position. So they need volunteers to make phone calls or video calls. So for example, like with Zoom. And it's important to have someone that they can talk to, and so they don't feel quite so isolated. They want volunteers who want to build relationships with seniors and making calls once or twice a week. So this is a very an experience. If you only have to do a call maybe once or twice a week, that's pretty easy to do. So that's also important when you're looking for any kind of position. How much time do they need from you? And is it something you can do? My guess, if you're making calls once or twice a week, it's really working with your schedule. So the qualifications for this position are very simple. So this is a very simplistic job description versus position most versus most descriptions, which are a lot longer. So what they want is somebody who enjoys conversation, is a good listener, good listening skills dependent. We have to be 18 at least, and is patient and compassionate. So they also offer a volunteer orientation. I would really look for that in any position, knowing you'll have an orientation, and almost any position you're going to apply for, they're also going to have you do a background check. So let me just go out here for a minute and go back to, okay, so the way that I responded, let me make this bigger, hold on one second. To this, I did a summary if I were applying for this volunteer position. I'm an experienced retired teacher, counselor, years of customer service experience. I enjoy talking and listening to people. So what I'm doing is telling what my most recent professional experience is. Years of customer service, that means I like interacting with people. And then they want somebody who's enjoys talking and listening. So that's right in there. Learning about people's lives. So again, I'm thinking, what are those things they need this person to do? So that's what I love to do. Having conversations, I have excellent listening skills, and also by telling them what my professional background has been, also tells them the type of work that I have sought out and I've done. I'm very dependable, patient, kind. I have computer skills. I've been on Zoom for years. I have years of experience with, I talk about computer skills that, so this would also be where, because it's a volunteer position and they're looking for somebody who's conversational, then talking about my hobbies, reading, I've taken lots of languages, so therefore they could match me with someone who possibly speaks another language or likes languages. So any kinds of hobbies that you have, I have there, whether it's sports or cooking. That's why in the beginning, when I said some positions, your hobbies may come into that. So that's why I just wanted to give you that idea of how you incorporate your hobbies. Now, that may not be the case. So for example, when I applied to work for an airline, I definitely included how much I love to travel and how much I love to fly.